What if Voldemort had a sister, and she was even more terrifying than him? AI just created 20 new Harry Potter villains. The first 10 are human, but the final 10 are something else entirely. Watch till the end to see the most overpowered one of them all. Number 1. Lilith Riddle. 51-year-old Lilith Riddle, Voldemort's secret sister, was born from an affair between Tom Riddle Sr. and a dark witch before he abandoned the family. Unlike Voldemort, she wasn't raised in an orphanage. She was hidden by her mother and raised in the Albanian forests, learning ancient blood magic. Interestingly, Voldemort never knew she existed, and she plans to keep it that way. Her favourite spell, Sanguinem Imperium, lets her control victims by binding to their blood. Power level, 8 out of 10. Number 2. Alistair Wraith. 43-year-old Alistair Wraith roams Britain, undefeated in duels for over 2 decades. A former Hogwarts student expelled after cursing his own soul, he linked his fate to his opponents. If he dies, so do they. This made him untouchable even by the Ministry. His signature spell, Fatalis Vinculum, binds opponents to his life force, forcing them to fight knowing their own survival depends on his. Power level, 9 out of 10. Number 3. Cassius Dreadmore. 58-year-old Cassius Dreadmore hides in a secret manor in Wales, operating from within enchanted mirrors. Once a Hogwarts professor, he studied magical reflections under Phineas Nigellus Black, but was banned for unethical experiments. He traps victims in mirrors and replaces them with obedient copies. His spell, Reflexum Maledictum, forces opponents to fight their own mirrored selves. Power level, 7.5 out of 10. Number 4. Isolde Grimshaw. 112-year-old Isolde Grimshaw moves between Britain and France, erasing lives without a trace. A former obliviator under Minister Millicent Bagnold, she discovered how to steal memories entirely, making her victims disappear from history. She alters her own identity constantly, leaving no proof she exists. Her spell, Oblivionis Tenebrae, wipes a person's entire existence from all memories. Power level, 9 out of 10. Number 5. Magnus. 67-year-old Magnus lurks in the mountains of Norway, collecting and corrupting wands. A former apprentice to Ollivander, he was exiled after developing a ritual that makes stolen wands permanently loyal to him. He hunts rare wand cores to perfect his power. His spell, Fiducia Fractura, forces wands to betray their owners mid-battle. Power level, 7.5 out of 10. Number 6. Celine Thornwell. 49-year-old Celine Thornwell lives in the Forbidden Forest where she studies forbidden death magic. Once an unspeakable undercroaker, she was removed for experimenting on fallen auras, raising them as inferi without decay. Her abilities make her nearly immortal. Her spell, Mors Regnum, revives corpses with their original intelligence intact, making them nearly impossible to defeat. Power level, 9 out of 10. Number 7. Mrs. Plimps. 55-year-old Mrs. Plimps operates in Yorkshire, running an illegal sanctuary for magical creatures. A former friend of Newt Scamander, she became obsessed with integrating hags into society, sneaking them into Hogwarts and Quidditch teams. She believes hags deserve legal protection despite their violent tendencies. Her charm, Hospes Invocare, magically disguises creatures as wizards for short periods. Power level, 3 out of 10. Number 8. Hector Nandi. 23-year-old Hector Nandi fights in underground dueling rings in India, proving that wands are unnecessary. A distant relative of Parvati and Padma Patil, he never attended Hogwarts, instead mastering wandless magic through ancient training. He humiliates purebloods who rely on their wands. His spell, Manus Ignis, lets him cast fire spells without a wand. Power level, 7 out of 10. Number 9. Selena Quell. 28-year-old Selena Quell is a cheerful and chatty healer who works in a London magical hospital, eliminating targets without suspicion. A former student of Madame Pomfrey, she learned to kill with potions, poisons, and silent magic. No one suspects a friendly healer. Her spell, Somnus Aeternus puts victims into a coma, mimicking natural death. Power level, 8 out of 10. Number 10. Barnaby Grimp. 42-year-old Barnaby Grimp controls the Ministry's legal system, blocking laws that protect Muggle-borns. A former classmate of Dolores Umbridge, he believes purebloods should dominate government without open violence. He manipulates paperwork and regulations to ruin lives. His spell, Legibus Vinculum, traps victims in magically binding contracts they cannot escape. Power level, 7 out of 10. Okay, so the 10 dark wizards are behind us. Now come 10 creatures no unforgivable curse can stop. And the last one, even you know who would have fled in terror. Number 1. Morbian. 367-year-old Morbian is a failed ministry experiment, created when Unspeakables tried merging a Dementor with a human wizard. It remains the only known Dementor-human hybrid. He drains magic and emotions, but unlike other Dementors, his victims' descendants also inherit the curse, suffering magical instability and incurable despair. Sealed in an uncharted cavern of the same cave where Voldemort once hid his Horcrux, he waits. Power level, 9 out of 10. Number 2. Vrog. 132-year-old Vrog was once a mindless mountain troll until he was accidentally enchanted by a rogue curse during the First Wizarding War. The spell gave him higher intelligence, but also a thirst for revenge against wizards. He now leads a hidden troll uprising in the Scottish Highlands. Unlike normal trolls, he wields a massive enchanted club that absorbs spells, making him one of the strongest trolls. Power level, 7.5 out of 10. Number 3. Sylvaex. 246-year-old Sylvaex was once a brilliant red phoenix, companion to a forgotten wizard, until he was captured and experimented on by dark magic cultists. Unlike normal phoenixes, he does not heal. He decays and spreads sickness wherever he flies. He dwells in an abandoned castle, luring lost travellers with his haunting, distorted song. Power level, 6.5 out of 10. Number 4. Grimbold. 198-year-old Grimbold is a senior vault keeper at Gringotts, known for his greed and cruelty. Unlike others of his kind, the fat goblin has secretly hoarded a fortune in cursed gold, enchanted so that anyone who steals from him slowly turns into a goblin themselves. He was once friends with Bill Weasley before betraying him. His spell, Avaritia Vincula, traps anyone who touches his gold in a never-ending cycle of bad luck and financial ruin. Power level, 7 out of 10. Number 5. Athex. 174-year-old Athex was once a respected centaur in the Forbidden Forest until he was murdered by a rival centaur tribe for dabbling in human magic. Instead of passing on, he returned as a ghost being, cursed to walk the forest, now feared by both centaurs and wizards. His arrows are made of pure spectral energy, striking enemies directly in the soul. Power level, 8.5 out of 10. Number 6. Thrix. 402-year-old Thrix is a massive manticore that dwells in the depths of the Carpathian Mountains. Unlike others of his kind, his venom doesn't kill instantly, but puts victims into a permanent, nightmarish sleep, where they experience endless illusions of torment. His tail can fire venomous spikes that explode upon impact. Power level, 9 out of 10. Number 7. Scorvix. 122-year-old Scorvix is a direct descendant of Aragog, the giant spider. Unlike his ancestor, he does not speak. He whispers into the minds of his prey, driving them insane before striking. Unlike most acromantulas, his venom does not kill, but puppeteers his victims, forcing them to act as his spies. Power level, 8.5 out of 10. Number 8. Rogmog. 216-year-old Rogmog was a once proud protector of a wizarding fortress, but after his masters were wiped out in battle, he turned feral. Unlike normal griffins, he can smell magic itself, tracking wizards across vast distances. His feathers are razor sharp, capable of cutting through spells. Power level, 8 out of 10. Number 9. Malakar. 712-year-old Malakar is the oldest known house elf, believed to have once served a dark wizard long before Hogwarts existed. Unlike normal elves, he became a cannibal, eating the flesh of house elves and other beings to sustain his own power. He disguises himself as a normal house elf to infiltrate wizarding families before striking. Power level, 9 out of 10. And number 10. Rook. Rook, age unknown, is a horrifying fusion of human, troll, and magical beast remains, stitched together by an ancient necromancer who sought to build the perfect servant. Over time, Rook, the flesh golem, developed a mind of its own, rejecting its master and killing him. Unlike other creatures, Rook is unkillable unless completely dismembered, and even then, his body slowly stitches itself back together. Power level, 9.5 out of 10. And there you have it, 20 unseen Harry Potter villains, completely constructed by AI. My own voice is AI, by the way. If you want to try it out, links to it and all my other recommended tools are down below. Tap that like button with your wand on your way out as well.